work this time. Last time they just disappeared. Do I have to get it from the front side?
You might have to. Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tabletop Legends. I'm Matt, your host and DM, joined as always by my lovely friends. And to give you guys a fair warning, I have the Orahole map covering the center of the screen so they can't see the live table. So you have a few minutes to erase all the dicks you're drawing all over the place. Before
It's just a cat now.
Before it gets shown to, as far as the audience knows, it's a lot of dicks because.
Well, it's now one giant dick. Because
there are.
Oh god, I want to race.
Oh no. Well, canceled. So, thank you for joining us for another episode of.
Just a heads up before you go on any further. We can't see you on the stream.
We can't see me on the stream. Oh,
I can't.
I can fix that. Well, I mean, really, it's a blessing to all of us in a way. Isn't it?
I just didn't want you to get like all the way through your spiel, and everybody, you're not on there at all.
And then the times we've gotten like 10 minutes in and found out we have no audio.
Hey.
Oh, I've done that at least like 5 or 6 times.
I'm here. I'm in the corner, joined by my Beholder Rodeo sign and my gelatinous cube, as I am every week.
The only companions that anyone really needs.
Yep.
How you get through quarantine.
Yep, that's how you get through quarantine. Your gelatinous cube and your Beholder Rodeo sign. So it's another Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, my players, for joining me. And thank you to our sponsors for making all of this possible. Thank you to Marble Moon Studio in the 8th House, providing your witchy home goods and lifestyle needs. Sam, our good friend from Marble Moon Studio, one of the owners, is going to be having a baby very soon, so we're very excited for her, and we're sending her good vibes, and we hope that you do too. We may or may not have recorded a video as a group the other day where her husband, our friend Curtis, asked us to send her a kind video, and as a show, we may or may not have sent a 15-second video of all of us screaming. But we wish them well, and we thank them for their support of the show. I also want to thank Little Dragon Corp, who you can get fine dice, and I'm trying to find. I have too many windows open. I don't know where my thing is to see where to put exclamation Little Dragon Corp. They are purveyors of fine dice and tabletop gaming fun sorts of paraphernalia. You can use our bonus checkout code PROBONUS whenever you check out at Little Dragon Corp for a 10% discount. That is littledragoncorp.com. And again, exclamation point Little Dragon in the chat at any point during tonight's episode for a link to their website. So we're back from outer space. Just walked in, find you here.
It's Matt's birthday. He's now 72 years old.
Yep. I'm 72.
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. I'm 72. I got my wife organized. She got a bunch of people to send me messages saying happy birthday. And there might be something wrong with Russell. That's all I have to say. Where did you even find that thing?
In the attic.
I might post that to our. I'm gonna post. I think I might try and get just a clip of the thing that he sent me and post it to like our various social medias so that everyone can see it.
I was gonna post it myself because I have just that clip, so I can do it.
And with no context to anybody watching tonight, what did you use for that mustache?
Mascara.
Cool. All right. So, moving on from that without any further comment, last week's session, the Fools Errant were hot on the trail of some sweet relic hunting mystery action, as they have been teamed up with an individual from the Ordinum Libri, from the Bookkeepers, being played by our super special guest star, DM Michael, who is center square of Hollywood Squares on my Discord screen here, but is in the bottom right hand corner for you guys at home. DM Michael.
He was, and now he just changed.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
We lost Becca.
Oh God.
Right. Now he's back in the room.
So the Fools Errant have included as part of the deal that the Ordinum Libri cut with their employers, the Collective of the Arcane Eye, over rights to a find that they'd been part of making. They are currently in the process of gaining their Gold Club Adventure card membership to the Ordinum Libri. But part of that is an in-the-field evaluation to determine whether or not they have what it takes to be part of the elite relic hunters who get to call themselves members of the Ordinum Libri. So, with their new temporary traveling buddy and evaluator, one Santiago Sanchez, at their side, they have headed off to the Great Excavation, or the Big Dig, as it's colloquially called, within the city of Nivria, a portion of the city that has been steadily being excavated by a team of royal archaeologists after part of the city collapsed, revealing henceforth undiscovered Invarian ruins beneath the city itself. A few days ago, 3 archaeologists ran into some trouble when they essentially broke through a wall and were attacked by a swarm of giant scorpions and spiders. One of the archaeologists escaped to tell of his tale, while the other 2 went missing within the tunnels and corridors and chambers excavated from beneath the city. The group has arrived, gotten the details of what happened, gotten a map pointing them to the last known location of the archaeologists, and just fought their way through a big horde of riled up giant scorpions and spiders when we ended for the night. In addition to some very strange sort of dust sprite type creatures. And that is right where we are going to pick up on tonight's episode of Tabletop Legends, right after this.
My pants.
And welcome back! I don't know if anybody heard that or not, but I hope you didn't. We have returned. I'm going to take us now over to our super fun, if I can figure out which one to make disappear, our super fun tabletop cam, virtual tabletop, as this is our life now.
My mouse is over here, and I'm removing my hand from the mouse, and I am not responsible for anything that happened.
If you at home were wondering why my introduction and my recap sounded like it was done by a person currently having a stroke, it's because during the entire thing, I was watching them sit at their windows, like quietly giggling while drawing all over this tabletop. And that's where we are. So actually, we don't really need to sit on this for that much longer, and so help all of you if all of your doodles carry over onto this next thing that takes us 20 minutes to sort out. We can actually jump right over to our...
Here we go.
Hi, Twitch.
Hi, Twitch.
Hi, Twith.
Twitch.
We love you, Twith.
That's okay.
with...
Where's the C?
Oh.
You see with your eyes.
I see with my heart.
Oh, my game crashed. I can never fix it again. Oh no, it didn't crash. It just loaded the new world.
Oh, thank you for the happy birthday wish, Twitch. That may have been 10 minutes ago. I only switched over to the chat now. So, we are on the Big Dig. I'm not going to mess around. Your minis aren't on here or whatever. And these guys, as a snapshot in time to a happier time when these guys weren't murdered by scorpions. But,
Matt, I did have a question about those two guys.
Yes.
Were they, like, dead?
Yeah.
Or
real dead.
making death saving throws dead?
No, they're
because
they're quite dead.
if there was any possible way to stabilize them, Santiago would have.
No, they got pretty instantly, like, bleh. So they're croaked.
Gotcha.
Walter also has a habit of attempting to save NPCs, but
I mean, that is essentially certainly where we can pick up as the last, where we left off last time. The last of those little dust creatures had currently, like, poof, ejected this big cloud of, like, sandstorm swirling air and dust in this kind of vicinity, and then was running floating back in the direction that all these creatures had come from up in this cave entrance here, or the excavation entrance. And Walter's creepy green light was right there. And so what does essentially happen is that creature just sort of, like, floats straight into where the creepy green light is. And for anyone who would have been sort of out, so, like, Brahm probably can get a look at this, as I think he was really the only one far enough off to the side over here that he would have been able to see. It's sort of like, as it passes into the Walter's spell radius, it sort of just decorporealizes and just, like, vanishes, and just all that remains is just a little bit of, like, kind of dust and pebbles scatter on the ground as the last little bit of wind kicked up by its form dissipates. And it's still a little hard to see. It's kind of like you get coughing, choking in the air as there's sort of dirt still kicked up from this fight and from these creatures. But as it settles, you can see these two individuals, these two guards who had been posted here, are both laying motionless in the ground. Sizable pools of blood sort of soaking into the sandy, rocky ground beneath all of your feet.
Santiago will kind of fight the cloud a little bit and rush up to him and just start checking for vitals and things like that.
Sure. You guys also hear there's a number of, like, shouts and yells coming from sort of further back away from this specific area, and you hear footfalls kind of getting closer to you as the dust starts to clear and the last of these creatures are vanquished. It sounds like a number of other individuals are kind of running over to where you guys are. I can give you minis if this'll help your imagination machines go, but otherwise, you're pretty much here with two dead bodies and a bunch of people running up to you.
I think I was, like, over here.
I am going to move up past the barricade, keeping an eye on that. Oh, wait a minute. That spell's still going on, so no, I won't.
I'll dismiss it at that
Thank you.
point.
Then
once everything's dead and, like, definitely dead, Walter would dismiss it.
Okay.
I'm also grievously injured, I'm pretty sure. I got pocket sanded by angry pocket sand monsters, so...
I will do some healing.
Hold on 1 second. I have to figure out... There it is. I will gladly accept...
Who actually has the thing open and who needs me to move minis for them? Michael, I have to move your mini for you, obviously. Russell, you crashed out or did you get back in?
It didn't crash out. It was It was just loading the new map.
Okay.
So I'm good. I already moved myself to where I was last week.
Alrighty.
I'm good.
Digital dice. Yeah, I'm pretty roughed up. I'm roughly, like, half.
Let me do 15.
I will happily accept.
You need more than that?
Yes, but
I
I may be able to give more.
I mean, if we
I can do more.
If we don't have time for a breather, then that's fine. Did anybody else take damage?
Yeah, I got.
I took a little bit.
A little bit.
Here, I'll give you 20.
Sure. That's not your entire pool, is it?
No,
Okay.
that's half.
Do you still need more? I got the spell.
No, that's 20's good enough. 20's
Okay.
more than good enough. That's
If you've got one healing spell to spare, Alar could use just a first level cure.
Okay.
Do you mind? I mean, I can handle it if you don't mind.
Not at all, sir.
Go right ahead. I don't care.
All right. Oh, how rough you looking, Alar?
2/3 of my hit points. Like I said, a first level cure spell should be fine.
I've got a healing word.
That'll help.
I
better.
got cure wounds.
Yeah. Honestly, to be honest, Brahms might be a little bit stronger.
All right, I'll do first level cure wounds.
All right.
Giving you.
And as Santiago, as you're looking over those guys, you see pretty quickly you're able to tell that.
Full healing.
Oh, nice.
It's unfortunate. These have moved on to their judgment.
Ah, damn.
And at this point, a number of other guards from other, stationed in other areas, kind of have moved into the area, as well as the older gentleman Herman Nill, the chief royal excavator. They all kind of run over, and the guards quickly go to their fallen companions.
Senor Mill,
he
please.
kind of comes over to you. He looks at the two men on the ground. Oh heavens! Oh no, this is getting worse by the minute.
You're going to need to take care and send word to their families.
He says, yes, of course. I'll have words with the guard sergeant immediately, and they'll get all of that taken care of.
You're either going to need to reinforce this point, or you're going to have to move everybody out of this area.
One of the guards who's kind of in the process with a few of his other fellows of looking to these guys and preparing to kind of collect them, kind of looks up in your direction and goes, "Oh, it'll be taken care of."
I'm sorry we couldn't do more.
well. You should probably
shakes his head.
get in there before more come out.
All right.
Yep.
Senior Walter, please, if you don't mind. You know that stinger almost nearly stabbed you in the neck.
I've had worse.
I mean, you look
He
like
is married.
Listen,
Hey, Brom,
listen.
we had this conversation.
If you don't mind, I would like to bestow a blessing upon you.
I accept any gift, as long as it doesn't cost money.
Oh, what his wife said.
Any gift?
I am going to.
Most gifts, TM.
Santiago casts Death Ward on Walter.
Much appreciated. I'm familiar with this spell.
So basically, if you were to die or go to 0 hit points, you go to 1 instead.
All right.
Outstanding. Thank you.
So the two guards are removed. The two deceased guards are removed. A few others are kind of move into position here and prepare to take up this barricade. Chief Excavator Nil is kind of hovering around the area a little nervously as all this is happening. And as you guys are sort of finishing up your healing spells and preparing to move, he sort of approaches you and he says, "It's more important now than ever. I know this looks dangerous, but this is getting worse. That's more of them than we've had make a run towards the entrance at one time. It's imperative. I hope I don't need to tell you, especially now that, may the gods help them, there's been casualties. If you can't go in there and solve whatever this is, I fear that the defense magistrate's going to have no choice but to send the home guard in there and... Well, just do be careful, but please, please, do what you can.
We'll find the missing researchers, and we'll do everything that we can to solve this.
He kind of nods appreciatively and sort of...
Senior Mill, you should probably get yourself to safety.
He says, oh, I'm as safe as I can be with the guards around here, back by my post. I'll stay away from the entrances, but... Well, this dig site's been my home away from home for almost a decade now, and I'll be damned if I run and hide while she's in danger. No, I'll stay out of the fighting, thank you, but... I can't rightly leave. Not now.
Alright. Well, time to go in the big, scary tunnel.
Yep.
I'll go first.
Santiago pulls out his clipboard and begins to write things down onto his clipboard. Flips a few pages. I am very impressed by all of you. Bueno, very good. I just must ask a few questions. Senor Brom, what is that? You have such an interesting fighting technique. What is that weapon that you are currently using in battle?
That's Bianca.
This Bianca. Interesting.
Wait a minute. Is that a Bandor?
What?
Brom, where the hell did you get a Bandor?
I made a deal with the dwarf for the mayonnaise.
That's one hell of a deal.
A statement I never thought I would say.
We've made a lot of statements that we probably never thought we'd say in our lifetime in the past year.
Wait a second. You made a deal with a dwarf with mayonnaise?
Yeah, so you know that the dwarf with the bad memory from back at the house?
There was a lot of names thrown around.
Colin Copper Kettle. Yeah.
Copper kettle.
Oh, okay, yes. See.
Yeah. So, a few months ago, we got loot crated, and I got this jug that produced a whole bunch of things, including was it 2 gallons of mayonnaise?
I believe 2
2
gallons of
gallons of
mayonnaise.
2 gallons of mayonnaise a day, and that dwarf is really into mayonnaise. So first thing he gave me was a ring. What was the first thing? It was the box.
You asking me?
Yeah. What was the Jigglypuff box? That's what it was. Yeah, I got a box that makes people fall asleep when I open it. It's a music box. And then that was just for one serving of the mayonnaise. Then I traded him the full jug for this sweet Vandor.
Oh, very, very nice and very interesting, yes.
That dwarf got swindled.
I don't know, he got his mayonnaise, so he's happy.
Fidget, are you feeling okay? You got yourself in quite a bind back there with those creatures.
Oh, I'm fine. I'll just stay in the back.
But it might be very wise of you.
What a change of plan. Really mixing it up there, Fidget.
I mean, you don't mess with perfection.
That's certainly a word.
We light them up, and Fidget sets them on fire with lightning.
I can
And then,
stop
and then
lightning
name some
things.
Nula.
Oh, I don't, Fidget. I don't doubt your arcane abilities whatsoever. Now that I've seen them firsthand, and
Oh no, I was talking to Brom. We're good.
I do believe you know stuff.
I do know things.
He knows a lot of things.
Not how to wear shoes, but he knows some things.
He knows the things worth knowing.
Fidget, do you own shoes?
No.
I thought... Didn't you take shoes from someone? Borrow shoes from someone?
No, I believe you're thinking of our Christmas special.
There may or may not have been a lot of shoe shenanigans with Kel during the Christmas episode.
Fidget, I know a few people in town. If you need some shoes, I might be able to provide them for you.
No, I find that my connection with the natural world is important for figuring out what's going to happen next and being a step ahead.
Don't throw off his groove. He starts wearing shoes. Next thing he could be blowing lightning at his ass. We don't need.
This is character development that I need to make note of. I was not aware that Fidget did foot-based divination magic.
Please never use the phrase foot-based divination again. That might be the worst possible thing.
I mean no harm. I don't mean to throw Fidget's arcane abilities to the wayside.
I mean to throw a shoe into the works.
that too. Yes. See.
Well, the cavern
Spooky
awaits
game it
whenever
is.
you're ready. All right, go ahead and let's just for the sake of having it for when we need it, there is going to be a good portion of this that is going to require like single file marching order.
Put myself on top of the cave.
I wouldn't worry about the minis. We're about to switch maps.
Ah.
But if you guys want to give me a marching order,
I think they're trying to like pal each other up on top of those rocks.
the audience can't see that. I put the Nivria map up a little bit ago, but so
Can you do me a favor before you change maps? Can you quickly pan around so you can show the audience the nice background you have of this area?
Did you do something terrible? Because I need to check this before I...
No, I didn't do anything terrible. It's just it's a nice cavernous looking background that I don't think the audience gets to see.
I believe this same background is will come up elsewhere.
Only on the one side though. It doesn't exist on the other side.
Well, that's where the opening is. It's fine.
That's 360 for me. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Marching order. Who's going front?
Alar.
Alar?
I'll be behind him.
Brom?
I'll be behind Brom.
Nula?
I will defend Fidget.
Okay, Walter.
Walter, if you don't mind, can I go a step ahead of you?
Absolutely. By all
So
means.
Nula, Santiago, Walter, Fidget. That's our marching order. Okay. Alrighty. So you guys do have the map that you were given by the chief royal excavator, which marks out. It's not a complete map of like the underground portion of this excavation, although it is a number of the excavated tunnels and chambers and passages in the subterranean portion of the big dig, and as far as you can tell, what actually looks like it might be like further out, like under the actual city, along with the the inked in line of the archaeologist's route into and then back out of where this incident occurred, with like an X marking the spot of where you're trying to go. So as you guys move your way forward, okay, you enter into the opening in the excavation wall, and as you do, the temperature immediately dips as you pass within. The stone walls are rough but evenly excavated by the Mifflindian archaeologists. The space immediately inside the opening to the excavation site is a chamber roughly 20 feet across and 15 feet deep, with a 10-foot ceiling. The space looks more or less like it was created by the dig team as a staging area, as opposed to being any original structure. You can see the remnants of wheelbarrows, carts, tables, and various tools laying strewn all about the chamber. They've been smashed, overturned, and otherwise disrupted by the rampaging scorpions and spiders that have been making their way through these spaces as of recently. There are several flameless lanterns and fixtures which are bolted to the walls, illuminating the space in a dim bluish-green light. On the far side of the room, there is an opening which has been dug out of the back wall. A set of steps descend roughly 5 feet, and an excavated corridor heads off into the distance. Map in hand, as you move deeper into the excavated tunnels, the light from the flameless lanterns helps you to navigate. The flat, featureless illumination casting strange shadows on the walls as you pass by them. The tunnels have been cut fairly wide in most places, nearly 8 feet across and 8 feet in height. There are other side tunnels here and there, some of which are just as wide, some of which are much more narrow. The air is stale, dusty, still, with just the faintest hint of a breeze coming from somewhere deeper within. The map that Chief Excavator Nil gave you has a good portion of this chunk of the dig mapped on it. A series of tunnels and chambers that have been excavated indicate a large, complicated subterranean network that runs beneath the city. There are larger chambers marked along some of the branching routes that extend off the path which has been drawn for you to follow, as well as numerous places where the outline tunnels trail off and are marked with annotations referencing other maps. According to the cardinal directions drawn on the map, you head steadily south by southeast. The path of the excavation leads you beyond the boundaries of the big dig above, and beneath the populated blocks of the city wards. As you walk, occasionally you hear the sound of chittering and scrabbling echoing through the tunnels from beyond your field of vision. But nothing approaches you as you make your way further in. You proceed for nearly 20 minutes without an incident. You follow the map as it's been outlined for you, and eventually you approach a chamber marked on the map that butts up against where an arc has been drawn along the bottom right-hand portion of the map. The arc is labeled Inner Wall. Other portions of the excavation and the labeled chambers you see on your map all dead end when they reach this arc, save for this chamber and the passage which is drawn continuing through it to the other side. Your map indicates there is a tunnel which has been excavated a few hundred feet further beyond this wall, with a few side passages and chambers which are annotated as descending deeper underground. The map portion of the underground network and the path that you've been following end at an X, which has been circled and noted with the words Incident Site. So, I will... actually, no, we don't need another map yet. As you move within range of what has been drawn on that map there, you can see the tunnel that you've been following ends about 20 feet further on. The illumination of those flameless lanterns from within allow you to kind of see roughly the dimensions of the room as it widens beyond where the doorway is. It is quiet as far as you can tell, and you see no shadows or anything like that moving within this chamber beyond.
I get a bad feeling.
Going to look for footprints, signs of where the two researchers ran off.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Okay. 20, not natural.
Okay. So as you get down on the ground and you're kind of looking in the thin layer of dust and dirt and debris that's on the ground, you do see there's definitely signs of people having passed in and out of this area. What you think are the most recent, like the topmost footprints, the ones that are not marked over or scuffed by other ones, you see a few pairs of footprints going in. You only see what looks like one set of tracks coming back out, or human tracks anyway, that you are fairly certain of the tracks left by someone who was moving at like a full sprint. The gait is much elongated, the footsteps are further apart, and rather than a full like boot print in the dirt, you're basically just seeing like the ball of the foot and the toe, and just the way that the dirt is kind of like skidded and kicked out, behind, gives the impression of somebody who was running at like a full sprint back out. So based on what you're looking at and what has been marked on your map, that from where you're standing, there's this chamber up ahead that seems to like bisect the thing labeled wall, and then there's like another 100 or so feet of tunnel, and like that's where the X is. So it looks like you've kind of you've gotten to the point where these archaeologists were attacked, and the one who you were told escaped. It looks like this is the way that he like sprinted back out when he ran for it. The other two do not look to have come back out this way.
Shall I send some light into the tunnel and make a little string ahead of us?
Senor Walter, can you hold on a second before you do that?
Of course.
I'm going to, Santiago's going to close his eyes and just really focus, and he's going to use his Eyes of the Grave ability to see if he can sense any location of undead within 60 feet of him.
Okay. All right. So Santiago closes his eyes. He goes very still. And Santiago, as you do this, you quiet your mind. You sort of exclude all sounds from around you, the group kind of waiting quietly in this hallway. You extend your senses. You sort of kind of feel the life force moving from those around you, and you reach further out, looking for anything bearing that unique sort of harmonic thrum in the eddies of magic that is associated with that which has been brought back from the beyond. And you feel as if you're standing in a kind of a still, quiet, empty space. You do not detect anything of the undead variety within the range of this spell, or this ability.
No sign of any creatures of undead abominations.
That's a relief. Alright, well, yeah, go ahead and light it up. Let's see if it flushes anything out. Alar's going to take a position to slightly to one side of the opening there, and let out a short bow and ready an arrow.
I have a hammer.
Let's go light fishing for cave monsters, I guess, and I'll use dancing lights and kind of set them as far as I can out, and then space them towards us. I think I could put them about 20 feet away from each other.
Okay.
So the furthest one is like up to 120 feet, and then like 20 feet apart from that.
So I mean, easy enough. So based on your field of vision, if I can, you're not gonna be able to see if I draw your map.
So I'd probably like put
so
the
about
closest,
20 feet from where you are is like where the tunnel that you're in opens into this chamber. So you can basically like fly them into there.
Gotcha.
But then you're gonna have to like move up and further to get a better look to send them like further ahead. But certainly as you like send them out from you, they add their illumination to that of the flameless lanterns, kind of making a lot of the details of this space a lot more clear. And as you send them out of the tunnel that you've been walking down into like the open chamber, you get a better look at least what you can see of it from here through the doorway. It does appear to be a chamber that is considerably larger than the tunnel that you're walking through. At least you would gauge the depth to be probably 15 or so feet, maybe a little more. The ceiling, you get the impression the ceiling is comfortably high. You're not sure how far it might extend like in this direction. It does look, whereas a lot of the tunnels you've been passing through have been very carefully and very precisely excavated by the archaeologists, but still like excavated stone. You can see this chamber is made of something different. This is like the inside of an actual structure here. This seems to be like tapped into a chamber of some sort that they uncovered down here. Within the field of vision of the light, you can see that there are some things laying, kind of strewn about the ground. Looks like like broken bits of tables and wheelbarrows and carts and tools and things like that. But nothing springs out or is otherwise disturbed or reactive towards the light.
All right. Well, I will head in.
Right. I will keep the lights far enough away from you that you don't have to worry about being illuminated, and then we'll follow you, I guess.
Okay.
Senorita Nula.
Yes?
I don't know. I just have a very bad feeling about entering this chamber. Would you like some extra protect?
Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
Santiago begins to reach out in prayer and cast protection from evil and good on.
If it's protection from good, it's a protection from myself.
No, protection from
Nothing to protect you from
evil,
yourself.
It's called protection from evil and good, but what it does is any creature of aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead have disadvantage on anything they try to do for the next 10 minutes, and you cannot be frightened, charmed, or possessed by any of them.
Okay, so that was monster types was what? Fae, fiend,
undead, celestial, elementals. And aberrations.
It's the one thing that isn't any of those.
No,
Oh
it actually was very important that I get that information. That will matter. So, some of you begin to move up. Others of you maybe are hanging back a little bit in the chamber or in the tunnel. But Alar and Brahm, as he's next. Well, I guess mostly everybody is. If Walter's moving up, kind of the whole group has to sort of Congo line their way up there.
You're just good back here.
They're just like, oh, here it goes. The chamber that you enter into has been painstakingly unearthed. The floors and walls are smooth and expertly excavated. There are relief etchings along the walls, which are reminiscent of the design work you saw on the walls in the research station. And the groove along the upper portion of the chamber is recognizable, the same type of groove that had the crystalline matrix of illumination that you had seen in that research chamber, though the ones here are bare. This is definitely an Invarian structure that they've excavated here. Perhaps the more surprising feature of this room as you enter is that the far wall is smooth, and as it reflects the steady light from the flameless lanterns and from Walter's dancing lights, you can see that there is just the faintest hint of curvature to this wall. And the shimmer coming back from the lights in this chamber give off that same sheen of champagne-colored alloy that you've seen before. This very much looks, based on the material that it's made out of, sort of general curvature of it, the positioning, and the information that you have on your map, to be part of one of the city walls, extended far beneath the ground, even to here.
Do I have a sense of like how far down we are?
It's a little bit hard to tell. You have definitely been on like a decent descent through a good portion of this. you're probably, I mean, you're not like hundreds of feet underground. You've probably changed in elevation 60 feet or so, maybe.
I mean, it's still significant that it's down.
I mean,
this
it's
far,
enough
like,
that it's down. It's down, but it's not like you're a mile underground and this wall is still here.
Hey, ALR.
Yeah.
This is like the research lab we saw before, right?
Well, it's definitely not as untouched, but yeah, those grooves there, that's where there'd be those crystals now illuminated.
Does that mean I can get another puppy?
sorry, puppy store closed.
I don't think so, Nula. Besides, Blinky is already a huge responsibility. I'm not sure you could handle two at once.
And
Nula, you need to focus
Yes.
on finding the researchers.
right.
They are also potential new friends.
Oh, right. Yes, new friends. New friends. New
Yes,
friends.
and they will
journey.
be very happy to see us. Are there any branch offs from this chamber?
So the sort of the main feature of this chamber specifically, there are no branching tunnels here. However, there is an opening in the wall, the city wall. Once you're inside it, you can see that the room is sort of rectangular this way. It's a little bit longer, and as you come out of the tunnel to your left, you can see there is a pretty large, like arched opening in this tunnel that looks like it goes into the interior of the wall.
Based upon the orientation of the city, we are still we're moving away from the river or toward it.
You are moving away from the river. So
Okay.
based on the way that the map is oriented and the way that you're walking and like where you're standing, you're sort of heading, like if this is the donut of the city, you started kind of up. I guess it's reversed for you guys. You're moving sort of this way towards like the center of the city.
Okay.
You think there was a second Mifflin Day for a second? Or, what is the name of that city?
Navaria?
Navaria, yeah.
Sorry, Nivria.
Nivria, yeah.
They may have had an underground setup. I mean, obviously, this didn't just disappear overnight.
Can I see the entryway as well?
Yeah, and if you
Y'all
kind of
can?
walk over and look at it, you can actually see it's almost like the gates to the city above. It's an arched opening, and you can look, and it's the wall is about like 15 feet thick, 10-15 feet thick, but you can look right through, and you see there's another chamber similar to this one on the far side of it that you can you just look through. It looks almost like it would be like a city gate or a portcullis, but there's no gate or door or anything in the opening. It's just
Okay, so it's not like a crack or a fissure in the wall. It's like an intentional
it looks
opening.
very intentional.
I mean, I'd hate to decline an invitation.
This is the way that they came, so...
And your map does indicate that there is another chamber, like drawn pretty much the same size as this one on the far side of that. It looks like the excavation team has been further than this point. It's like past this next chamber on the other side, that final few hundred feet of tunnel that ends in the X starts.
Alright. I will snap my fingers, conjure Scooter, and I will head through the archway.
Alrighty.
Before he does that, I'm gonna poke him in the back with Bianca, and also cast protection from evil and good on Alar.
So it'll kind of a very faint gung as the strings on the
Like one
door
string, like,
vibrate.
Santiago looks at his clipboard. Ah, very good, Senor Braum. And jots some things down.
Thanks.
Alrighty. All right, so Alar is proceeding forward. What is the rest of the group doing?
I'll just keep my space in line, but I'll continue on as long as everybody else is moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Alrighty. Then as you guys
Fidget
move...
is still following, right? He's not still up in the original tunnel. Carlos is muted. Becca is also muted.
I mean, no one has told him that he should come with them, and he didn't come into the room. So
I'm gonna cast message at Fidget and be like, Fidget, come on, let's go. We got some exploring to do. You could use your firepower, please.
I mean, I guess.
And 25 words.
I don't think message has that limitation.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I thought that was sending.
No, it's sending. Nope. It's just blocked by magical silence, foot of stone, inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, etc., etc. So I can't do it from the tunnel. I'd have to.
So really, essentially, what happens is that Walter walks back to the doorway, within like 15 feet of Fidget, and then uses magic to send him a message.
It's like texting somebody from across the room.
Pretty much.
I would make eye contact and text people. So like as a person, not as Walter, but like Walter, I feel like would probably also possibly do that.
Like Fidget responds back as loud as possible, just like, okay.
Yeah. Alar will start when he hears that. No. Thanks, Fidget.
Alrighty. For those that are moving up, as you begin to move forward, as you walk through that opening in that wall, it is very reminiscent of passing through one of the main city gates up above. The difference being, of course, there is no portcullis, there is no gate. There is, however, as you're sort of eyeing on your way in, a groove that runs along the sides and the top, as if this is not just one solid, like, opened piece, but there's, like, different parts to the inside of this sort of short tunnel that's formed through this chamber. There is, you can see, a few pieces of, like, iconography, like symbols, like individual, like, runage, have been placed in a couple of places along this this chamber. Walter, as you're, like, looking at them, even with your, you kind of are used to the effect of written words, even in languages that you yourself don't understand, being sort of filtered through this, what you can always have assumed to be, like, vast knowledge of languages that perhaps your patron is in possession of. But as you look at these, they don't really translate to anything that is meaningful. You get the impression that these are not like literal words to be translated so much as like just bits of iconography that, without you having the context, don't mean anything. So think of like, like if you're at the airport and there's like this sign that's like, Chili's to go is this way. if you were a person who was interpreting Chili's to go as this way through your eldritch sight, and you don't know what Chili's to go is, it just looks like a symbol still.
That was the weirdest explanation of anything I have ever heard.
But very, very accurate to the experience that Walter is having. It's just iconography that doesn't have like a literal translatable meaning. It seems to just be like an indicator for something that would convey contextual information to somebody who like knew, where they were in this place, perhaps when it was originally built. So there's nothing you really get off of looking at these. When you move through and you come out to the far side of this wall, you find yourself in a chamber, pretty much the same size as the one that you just left on the other side. It is also illuminated by a few of those dim, flameless lanterns. Walter, are you like bringing your dancing lights, kind of like coming along with you?
It only lasts a minute, so like every so often I'll let it fade out, and then if it seems like there's something interesting to look at that I can't see with the light, I'll just cast it at it.
All right. So you enter into this chamber, and it is much the same size and similar to the one you just left. It does look to be like kind of have been like tossed, ransacked. There's some different furniture debris in here, though. You see that it actually looks like this chamber was maybe being used as a almost like a little outpost, little bunkhouse type of deal, where the archaeologists maybe could like catch a few hours of sleep and rest and do their work here without having to like go all the way back to the surface. You see the remnants of a few few roughly put together like bunk beds in here. One of them has been like knocked and toppled over and has broken. There's some smashed tables and chairs in this space. More, what look like shelves of tools and notes and things are all scattered and strewn about the floor, kind of ripped up and dirty. There's some piles of like kind of sandy rubble that's just built up in a few places, as it looks like just a horde of presumably giant scorpions and spiders rampage through this chamber. There are a couple of like what appear to be like footlocker type almost crates. There's a couple of those that are still intact in this room.
Fidget, we got a shoe store.
I'm sure that'll be helpful for someone, but I am not that person.
It's just an underground mall. There's a Chili's to go. There's a Foot Locker.
I guess I'll pick a Foot Locker to start ransacking and see if anybody else is doing anything else.
Filled with feet.
Okay.
Better not be full of feet. That was a previous experience I had a problem with
Sure.
as a rumor 40 episodes ago. Still have the notepad for it.
Okay, so you're searching the crates, Walter. What you discover as you start going through these, they don't so much as appear to be crates containing like personal effects as they do. They seem to be like samples and like things that have been like cataloged essentially, and packed up and put into these crates to be like taken out from here. As you're kind of going through, most of the stuff inside these crates is then like further put inside other like either bundles or cloth linen wrappings, things like that. One thing does catch your eye. There's like a scrawled note which has been affixed to a bundle about yay big. And the thing that catches your eye about it is that there is a name printed at the bottom of the inscription that's written on this, and that name is Nadine Leakey, which is one of the still missing archaeologists.
What does the note say?
So as you look at the note, the note, it says, artifact item 11324-T sub 5. And then there's like a description underneath. It says, fist-sized alloy reliquary. Found in Chamber A. Appears to have originally been affixed to damaged monolith in Chamber A. And then there's like a little sub-footer note that says, symbolism or purpose unclear, question mark.
Oh boy. Hey, Alar, do you have that bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a...
Talk about the bag of holding?
Yeah, there's an
I have the bag
artifact
of holding.
that they found here.
Oh, who?
I have the bag of holding.
Okay. Brahmins. So if we want to put this in a nice secure location real fast, I think that would probably be ideal.
Alrighty.
Found it at the monolith? Is there a monolith? Do we see a monolith nearby?
I checked the map. Is there anything marked Chamber A?
On the one you have, there is not. On the one you have, beyond the point that you're standing, there is basically just a slightly curved bit of tunnel, and then it does branch. It like forks into two, like vaguely square-ish, rectangular-ish chambers, and then like slightly beyond them comes to the point where there's like the X. But it looks like that's pretty, like, compared to the rest of the map, it almost looks like that was just like that last bit was sort of drawn on shortly before it was given to you, potentially like based on the description given from the archaeologist who did come out, was like so that it could just be added so that you would know what you're looking at. Doesn't look like those have been like compiled onto this map that that Nil had.
I'd like to once Brahm is close with the bag, before I put it in, I'd like to take a look at the object.
Sure. It's basically like wrapped up in a bunch of layers of like fabric cloth, but you can certainly kind of undo it. And as you sort of undo the twine, unravel it, open it up, what you bring out, it is about yay big. You can kind of hold it in one hand. It's fairly weighty. It probably weighs 2 or 3 pounds. And it is this kind of feels like metal, but the look of it is almost like crystalline in nature. It has been carved, it looks like, into the likeness of some sort of a bird in flight. It has like wings extended, and it is this like deep ruby red color.
The symbol itself doesn't look familiar. It just is bird-like.
It just is like a bird. It's like a little bird statue, essentially.
Ram, you ever seen anything like this?
I take it now.
No, probably not like this specifically. It is. I should just make sure I'm painting the proper
It's flat, right?
mental picture. It's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, but it is like flat. It's not like a 3D statue. Right. It's a kind of a flat thing.
Oh, they said it fell off of or something. On the note, it says it fell off of a monolith. I don't see a monolith in this room.
Might be from a chamber further in, or that's not on the map.
Well, let's wrap this back up and keep a mental note to get this in case we need it later. Be interesting if we could activate some of the old Nivrian stuff.
No, that's a third goal. Goal 1, let's find the researchers. Goal 2, find what the heck is riling up the critters and stop it. Then we'll worry about that.
That's fair. And I'll wrap it back up and make sure the note is with it, and then put it in the bag of holding with that Brom has.
Okay.
I'm immediately behind Brom, right?
I mean, you have enough room in this chamber to kind of move about as you wish, but in the marching order, yes, you are immediately behind Brom.
I'm going to get Brom's attention, but be discreet so that, like, so I'm not, you know, I'm gonna pull out the red feather, but make it so only Brom can see, and then, like, point to the object. Like, basically trying to ask, are they tied in some way? And then I put the red feather back and continue.
Alright, I will head further in.
Okay.
So there's definitely no monolith in this room, right?
No.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if like we just.
There is another okay. tunnel that leads further. That was on your map there. But no, this is just a vaguely rectangular room that looks like they were using as a staging space as they like expanded their dig further in here. Okay, so you put that first reliquary into the bag of holding, and you're moving further in. Now we are going to switch maps.
Oh snap! Oh ho ho!
Okay, let me pop this up here for our viewers.
Let's see.
Alrighty, give me a second to put you guys some yennies. I learned my lesson this time, and I made a subfolder just for the party. I cannot promise that they're not going to freak out in this space.
Too late.
The best we
they
can.
definitely are.
We can shrink them down a little bit to make this a bit easier.
I think they're trying to like snap to the tile.
Yeah, I'm gonna shrink them all just a bit to give us a little more room to work with here. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, you can. That's clever.
Okay, so you guys should have control of your tokens.
So we are. Where's Hero is in front of me, I think.
Yeah, don't push yourselves too because you're basically coming in from here. Okay. So like whoever's in the back. So that was Fidget in the back, right?
Yeah.
So we'll put Fidget right at the door there, and then move upward from him. Oh no.
We got it. Okay.
Santiago is in front of Walter, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll put him there.
I keep wanting to call you Senor Vorpal Kikasso, and it's so hard not to.
Okay. So
Matt, would 10 minutes have passed since I cast that spell
on? Where did you cast that spell? Like where?
As we were entering that very first chamber when we were getting close.
No, probably not. Probably only about 5 minutes at that point.
Okay.
Of time it's taken you to kind of search these other two rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, it took about 20 minutes to get down to where those chambers were, and then it's been about maybe 5 since then. So you've got some time left.
I'm just trying to keep note of it because
Sure.
I always forget when I'm concentrating on things, and then screw up spell casting that way.
Yeah. Alrighty, so there are a few of those flameless lanterns in this space casting illumination, but it's still fairly dark. Light enough that you're able to see. You go down a little ways. So this doorway here, this is not like the doorway right from that chamber you're in. You guys left that chamber, walked down, 100 feet or so of like excavated tunnel to get yourselves here, where it like makes this turn and is now, as you're kind of looking down, you can see there's these two, branches here, and then a like partly collapsed open wall at the end here. And this is what coincides on your map. This spot right here, this end of the kind of the line, right there is where that circle with the X that says incident site is marked.
Okay. I am going to move up to there.
Okay.
And at the crossroads of this, look for signs that someone ran in either of these directions.
Okay, make an investigation check. And you guys feel free to move yourselves as you wish within this area. No, we're not in initiative or anything like that, so you can totally play with your minis.
23.
Okay. You once again see what you assume are the footprints of the one escaping archaeologist, Artis Evans. It does not look like the other two ran back this way or in either of these directions. Oh, and Michael, you just tell me if you want me to move your guy somewhere, because...
Oh, yeah, I'd just be following Nula
Okay.
until something happened. Walter, feel free to keep pushing Santiago.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I assume Fidget's going to be behind Walter, effectively.
Alright. Then I will move up to the partially collapsed entrance.
Oh, are you guys... I don't know how this lighting is how well this is working. Are you guys able to see, like, these chambers here? They should be, like, very dark, but they should... I want to make sure you guys at least can, like, tell that they're there.
Yeah,
I
you
know
can
they're
see
there.
that. You can see they're there, and also can hover over things that are
Cool.
named.
All right.
It's more of... I don't see any signs that they went either of those directions,
Sure.
so I'm moving on.
Alrighty.
Which may or may not be a good idea, but
Okay,
we're
so
going
you're
with
kind of
it.
heading up to this entrance over here. As he's doing that, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Oh, I fell.
Renaming minis so that they make sense when you highlight them.
I'm thinking, like, I'm peeking down these hallways to see if there's anything that's gonna come back and bite us.
Okay.
I'm just keeping a distance while everybody else is like checking things out.
Fidget's on the wall. Fidget's Batmaning it up right now.
Fidget,
go,
Fidget, oh God, where'd you go?
I'll go see what's over this way.
Okay.
We'll go this way.
All right. So as you guys, so all three of you can make me investigation checks.
Which three?
The
People-
Nula,
people
Brahm,
exploring
and
chambers.
Aylar. The people exploring the chambers. Nula, Brahm, and Aylar.
25.
Actually, I don't think I need that. I think I can do this.
9.
9.
13.
Okay. All right. Just so that the folks at home can see a little bit, I'm gonna drop some more illumination into these spaces. In the form of some pretend flameless lanterns. There is no more on this map of this part, but we will get to what Aylar sees in a second. So, let us go. Let's try and get where we can see everybody. How's that look for the viewers at home? Good, okay. So, Nula, over here on the chamber that is to your guys' left as you were heading down this way. The first thing that you notice as you walk towards this chamber is that you can hear what sounds like the kind of like the gently lapping sound of water. And sure enough, as you move into the doorway here, you see there's a small kind of lip, which you can you sort of take one step up on, and that lip is holding back what appears to be a small, sort of just only a few inches deep, maybe 2-3 inch deep pool of water that fills the center of this chamber. As you kind of peer in, as you don't have dark vision, you're sort of squinting to try and make out the details of this room, as it's reflecting off of the dim illumination from the lantern out here. what you can tell is that part of this chamber collapsed. So the ceiling in one of the walls on this corner over here, where everybody's hands are floating, caved in at some point. There's just like a big debris heap of rock.
So it's natural to the side. It's obvious that it's to the side and it's not an additional thing that fell.
No, it doesn't look like it. It just it looks like the like chamber and the earth above and around just collapsed in. It doesn't look like anything was like put in there. There is definitely something kind of in the center of the room that appears to be like smashed and like knocked down, laying down. That is, you can just kind of make out the reflection of like some more of that like sort of champagne colored alloy metal that the Nivirian walls are made out of, along with like some stone. It's hard to tell in here without like getting hold of a light source, but it looks like whatever was in the center of this chamber was like damaged and crushed by the collapse of part of this chamber. Brahm, you basically see the same thing on your side. It is a small chamber. There's not water on your side. It is just smooth like dirt stone floor. What you can see with your dark vision, however, is that there is a sort of a monolith, an obelisk, intact in this chamber. It's about as high as the ceiling, so it's about 10 feet high. Wide enough around that you probably, if you were to like put your arms around it, you'd be like a good couple of feet off of being able to like bring your arms together on the far side. And it is made of a combination of like stone and that odd champagne colored alloy.
Is there any marking on it that looks like that bird from the piece?
What there is on it is right in the center. There's like a I don't want to say a depression, but basically like a punch out. There's like a hole through the center of it, about the size of like a dinner plate, and affixed inside that that opening in this obelisk, in this monolith, is another one of those reliquaries. Until you bring it out and get some light on it to see, you can't really make out what color it is, as you're kind of looking through your dark vision here. But it looks to be the same size and shape, sort of like a bird with extended wings, as if in flight, set into this reliquary, or this obelisk.
Right, so I'll call down the hallway. Hey, Walter, bring your dancing balls in here.
As he's doing that, Alar, when you kind of like peek your head, so what you're looking at here is like an opening that looks like it was the beginning of like an excavation of a doorway, but like part of it crumbled in, leaving enough space for at this point for like a pretty large size person to get through, but it's not like totally open. There's still some debris kind of blocking part of it. And as you're peeking your head through, you can see that there is a much larger chamber on the far side of this. You can't get a good look at all of it, as like your eye level as you look in looks out over this chamber, and you can see that it like pretty drastically descends. And there are there's lights from the same sort of bluish greenish light that you associate with these lanterns that the archaeologists used. There is at least a couple of them you can see, it looks like, down below, illuminating up.
Okay.
All right. I walked over to Brahm, and I'm I'm gonna use dancing lights, but instead of a couple floating balls, it's gonna be a single human-sized, uh, and shaped orb of, or like beam of light, basically.
Okay.
Giving him the finger.
Alrighty. So, was it Mr. Game and Watch? No, Master. What? Mr. Game and Watch is somebody else. What is it? Master Glove, Master Hand from Super Smash Brothers.
I think it is Master Hand.
Master
Mr.
Hand.
Game & Watch is the guy with the sauce.
Yeah, Mr. Game and Watch is a different thing. Master Hand just floats in and gives you the finger Brom. But you can see that this is another like ruby red reliquary, just like the one that Walter picked up and is now in the bag of holding.
Well, there's your monolith.
Well, that one clearly has one in it, so you think there's one on the other side?
Hey,
I would
Walter.
guess.
Can I borrow the lights when you're done?
The giant floating middle finger flies over to Nula's side to eliminate that half.
Wait a minute. Why
Oh, sorry, wrong one. It's finger guns now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Brom requested it first, so I had to. It was on Brom settings.
Alright. I think I found our obelisk.
Definitely looks like an obelisk. This one appears to have been smashed and destroyed in the collapse.
I'm not sure. I guess Walter's gonna like go over, look, and then like kind of compare the differences in the flooring because I feel like they're a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Water.
The other side looks like dirt, I think. Hey, Brom, you wanna touch the other thing and see what happens?
Okay.
Touch the monolith. I'm not touching it. I'll be over here.
Was that did you touch?
That was me. Yeah, that was me touching.
I had to tab back. I had to tab back over. I saw the tail end of the motion. So you're just putting your hand on the obelisk thing itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing happens.
What about if I go where the bird thing is? Does it press, push in, or anything?
You can make an investigation to kind of see what you think.
Natural 20.
You're pretty sure you could just if you wanted to, you could reach in and you could take it out. It's it's secured in there by the way this thing is built, but it doesn't look to you like it's attached in there. It looks like it is made to be taken out and put in.
All right, I'll attempt to take it out.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of takes a little bit of doing, but it comes out, and it's in your hand.
Does that do anything? I say to the group.
Does it do anything on my
You guys
side?
kind of are looking around. Doesn't seem like it did.
Weird.
Is the fallen one in front of me, is there can I see a place to put it in?
You can see where it probably was, where it's kind of obelisk shaped, and then there's the opening, but it's fallen and broken now, so the place where you would have put it in is not intact anymore.
Okay.
Were the bird thing, were they different looking or were they the same?
They look the same.
Okay.
To casual inspection. I don't know if anybody's a gemologist in the group. Brom, I will say, now that you've fully kind of gone in there and are now turning back around to see anybody see anything, you would probably notice that on the doorway, on the inside of this chamber as you're in here, there does appear to be something written in Envarian runage.
Do I have Kel's old rock books?
You have Kel's old stuff, so
Tell
I
me,
assume.
carrying Kel's stuff with you?
Or is it in the house still?
Maybe in the house.
It can't be in the house still because we are evicted.
We haven't been evicted.
Anybody have comprehend languages?
Did you find writing?
Yeah. It's on the doorway up here.
I'm gonna look at the doorway.
Walter sprints
By laying on my
back over
back.
Going, "You found writing?"
Correct me if I'm wrong. You have to physically touch it, right?
Comprehend languages.
Comprehend languages is that, but
Does your eyeballs work that way?
The invocation, no. It just is
Okay, so you can
basically
just-
Google Glass.
Okay.
It's literally Google Glass. So
Sure. So, what is written there, or at least the literal direct translation from Envarian runage to the common tongue that you understand, it is a single word, and it is the word glory.
Brahm, the word on
Yeah.
the wall is glory.
That's the secret word! Yay!
Obelisk monster! No!
You're telling me we came all this way to find the glory hole.
If you guys are done with the brothel, we got some researchers to find.
I'm gonna use mold earth to pop a 5-foot hole in the dirt here, or try to, and just displace it. There's your glory hole.
You probably are not able to in this, like, down here, as it's not, like, loose earth.
The earth over by the other obelisk isn't like loose-ish.
It's the same stone floor as, like, here. It's just a
Okay.
different colored tile because I had to build that in there. It's all like basically, excavated rock. down
Okay,
here.
never mind. I guess I won't do that.
Your stupid joke is thwarted.
See, I was referring to the hole in the pillar that
The
we
whole,
just
that's what I
were
assumed.
taking that thing
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's the
Weird.
single word glory is written above that doorway.
And is there writing in the other room? Oh, you can't see it. It's still. I know it's still in there, right?
The giant floating middle finger is it's orbs now. It's just orbs. It's fine.
Okay. So
I'm
is there
gonna go over
writing
there.
above your doorway too?
I'll just go
Is
check
there?
this out.
There is.
I broke.
I swear to God, if that one says hole.
Alright, I am technically in the other room, but the way the game went, it
Okay.
wanted me to be up on the light.
There
What-
is
what do you
another
got in here?
single word written above that doorway. The word that is above that doorway is the word vision.
Bro, this side says vision.
Well, that means nothing.
Well, you got glory and vision. Maybe they're. I don't know.
Look, guys, believe me, I'm fascinated. I absolutely am. But researchers.
Right.
Giant
There's
scorpions.
definitely people we need to find here. All right. Well, for glory and vision, I guess.
Wonderful, for the honor of blue femur or something.
Well, do you think honor's written on the inside of that wall?
We're gonna find out.
All right. To Alar.
All right.
I will, slide through that
Okay. So,
partially collapsed doorway.
as you begin to move through that partially collapsed door, nobody move your minis just yet. As you begin to move through that collapse into the next chamber, as you begin to pass through, there is a change in the stillness of the air. The silence of this underground space, which you guys have all been exploring, is broken as a sound begins to echo through the tunnel. stale air begins to stir. It quickly rises to a gust and a strong breeze, and then a gale of wind, which buffets you backwards a half a step towards the tunnel that you guys are kind of working on exiting here. The sound of clacking and chittering cuts through the wind, growing louder and louder. And when we come back from our break in a few minutes, we will roll initiative.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum,
Just in time
bum.
for probably both of those protections good and evil to wear off.
Yep, just in time for protection from good and evil to wear off.
Exactly.
Thank you for burning your resources early. Yay!
Okay.
I can cast it again if we need to.
So, thank you for sticking with us so far. If you guys have been joining in chat, I have too many screens open, so I haven't been able to keep a.
You got a couple
huge
of happy
amount.
birthdays.
Oh,
in there, Matt.
thank you for the happy birthdays.
Happy birthday with 100 bits from Sarah.
Oh,
and-
all right.
and
Michael, you
and
can send
Peplin.
those bits directly to me. I accept payment in the form of what is 100 bits is like 1 penny or something like that.
No, it's $1.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's $1.
Oh,
I'll send
alright.
you $1.
Cool. Yeah. I also accept. I also accept payment in the form of flattering couplets, flattering rhyming couplets, if you so choose. So, stick around. We will be back right after this break with a lovely, lovely slideshow of all of our other sweet Probo shows that you can catch anytime you want. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah, you have 626. That's how many
yes,
milliseconds it takes to connect or to send data.
Welcome back to Tabletop Legends Tech Talk. Hello,
But
we're
you're
back.
good now. You're under 100.
I am just doing some housekeeping, and we are.
We're just gonna delete this. There's the flick button. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, got that and that.
Oh, good, scorpions.
Yes. So there's a special thing about those scorpions, which I'll tell you in a second. In that they're not scorpions so much as they're a fuck ton of scorpions.
Wow.
Are they metric?
They're very friendly.
Nula friends.
They speak common, and they just want to be understood.
Yeah, it's really it's really weird. They're all
Do
wearing
they want
hats.
hug?
You came in looking for dogs, end up leaving with a bunch of scorpions.
That's right. I'm gonna use. Let's see. This is probably a bit much, right? Yeah. Yep. How little can I make this?
I didn't even think it was just a gray box and then it disappeared. It was just a cloud.
That will work. That will definitely work. Yes,
Fart
it is
scorpions.
a cloud. Okay. Boosh. All right. We're gonna put that here. And we're gonna put that one. Oh well. It fell through the world. How come that one landed nicely and this one's
Maybe because there's
Pissed off on me.
the tokens there.
I don't know. Well, it's gone forever now.
I see it when I hover my mouse over it.
Are you're not able to move it, are you?
Yes.
Oh, you got it. Okay, thank you. Just crane game that on there. Oh, it flipped. Oh, that's what happened. Wait, I got it. Okay. I'm not gonna spend the next 4 hours messing with this. That is in the space between you and Walter.
Wonderful.
So let's go ahead and everybody can roll me some initiative, and I will narrate to you what is going on.
21.
5.
Alrighty.
19.
19.
I just rolled a nat 20.
Okay, so what
So
did I get?
22.
22.
My
Walter.
underground danger sense is tingling. Growing
See,
up in a
I'm
mining town has its
missing
benefits.
Fidget and
Like black lung.
9.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
And, Santiago has a fort.
A 4 or 14.
14.
14.
According to
Right.
this,
Let's see what these guys. Dex modifiers. Whoa. Okay, they're gonna go there. And these guys are gonna go. Oh, they're gonna go right next to each other. That's fun. Alrighty. So, Walter, you are going to be the first to react, and the thing that you are reacting to is that as Alar goes to move through that space, and this rise of wind comes up, the air begins to kind of swirl and move in this chamber, and all of a sudden, like, dust and dirt and debris begin to whip up off the floor into these concentrated sort of swirling vortexes. And as you're looking at them, though they hold no consistent solid shape, you can swear that as you look at them that they have these almost forms of slightly more concentrated, like, dirt and debris, making a semi-corporeal figure inside these clouds of dust and dirt with a vaguely, like, screaming humanoid face in them. At the same time as like all of this dust and dirt and debris is being like churned up and the ground is becoming all agitated, you start hearing this clicking and clacking and chattering. And up from the like shifting ground as whatever these two things are like begin to form, scorpions start coming up. 1, 2, 10, 30, 100. Just swarms of scorpions begin to emerge from the ground and just start like furiously rampaging around, skittering up the walls, down the corridors, driven into like a frenzy by whatever the disturbance that these two cloud-like beings are creating is. So, Walter, it is your turn first. You have one of these creatures is basically like... You're practically inside it at this point.
I'm over here.
Whose mini is that?
That's Brom.
No. This is you. This is Alar. This is a cloud.
Oh. Gotcha. So the cloud is just a bunch of scorpions?
No, the cloud is a cloud. The scorpions are scorpions.
Okay.
The cloud seems to be pissing off the scorpions.
Well then,
You better get the spell magic.
No.
What I have is a shovel. So I'm gonna shillelagh
Does
the
the shovel
shovel.
have the spell magic?
I don't know. If I hit it hard enough with a magical shovel, maybe it'll be dispelled. So we're gonna shillelagh attack that.
Okay.
What is possibly just a cloud.
All right.
Yeah.
Roll to hit.
Screw it. Shovel. Oh no, that's an 8.
No. So your shovel basically just like whistles through. You hear this sort of like innumerous plinking and clinking of like tiny pebbles and particles of dirt just like rattling past the blade of the shovel as it swings through this creature, but you don't really feel like you make any sort of solid connection. That vaguely visible main form inside it sort of like swirls back and around and evades the bulk of the shovel swing as it comes through its form.
So
anything
seeing,
else?
I'm gonna look behind me and see if I can see behind Santiago, and then if I can see behind him and see there's another one of these things, I'm gonna yell at Santiago, saying, "Behind you! Just be careful."
It seems we're all split up.
Alrighty.
This is bad.
That's Walter's turn, yeah? Which brings us
That's my
to
turn.
Alar on the other side of the cloudy boy.
Well, I saw Walter take a swing at that thing and it not do a thing, so let's see if Toll the Dead works. It gets to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
Okay. Nat 1.
Okay.
It is as of yet undamaged, so it'll be the lower dice.
It's only 2d8, so that's a 3. And that's a 2, so it takes a whole whopping 5 points of necrotic damage.
Alrighty. Nevertheless, the sound rings out through this space, and you see the kind of like dust particles of this thing kind of static and freak out for a minute, as if agitated by this. Definitely looks like it had an effect. Anything else?
Magic works on them.
Good to know.
I'm going to... there's not a whole lot of room to move, but I'm going to try and angle myself more toward a wall to give Walter a clear line of fire, since I know what's coming next.
Sure. Alrighty. Okay, Brom, that brings us to you. You are up. So there is a... Let's see, where's Brom standing? There is a, like, writhing swarm of massive scorpions between you and the rest of the group in the hallway there.
I'm going to attempt to, well, would be minor illusion or greater illusion to basically put a wall of fire between me, like imaginary wall of fire between me and these.
I believe you could do it with the minor illusion, as it's not that big a space.
Okay, so I'll do it with my illusion.
Okay.
Both. So that's what I will attempt to do.
Alrighty, so you're gonna minor illusion, and they'll make a check on their turn.
And then, is there a range on Bardic Inspiration? Do I have to be able to see
I
them?
think you have to be able to see them, and/or they have to be able to hear you.
Well, if it's here, then I will shout. If I have to be able to see them. Let me...
I believe it does say on there.
Uh,
It should be like one creature that
just has to hear me.
you can hear, yeah. Or it can hear you.
Okay. Who needs it the most? Who wants it? I'll give it to Nula, because she's like right. Is this her right there? Behind Walter? Yeah. So I'll
Yep.
Bardic Inspiration on Nula.
Thank you.
And I'll say, do your thing! Make some scorpion omelets.
Ew!
Scorpion omelets.
So you get one to all those
What is happening right now?
damage.
Weird.
Can
cool.
I make 2 comments real fast?
You can make 2 comments.
Okay. First comment. Second comment is, it looks like the Bandor rules as written. Shillelagh is a spell that you can only use once per day, but that feels dumb because it's a cantrip.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's a plenty powerful item.
Yeah,
We'll look at it later and make a final ruling. I'm not against like.
I feel like
making a call.
Alkabonging would be a wonderful feature of that thing.
Yeah, we'll look at that another time. I'm not worried about it right now.
Okay.
Already, Bardic Inspiration was just used. Okay, so that brings us to these swirling cloud creatures. So, the first thing I need is for Walter and Alar. I saw that in chat. Oh, I see. With Golden D20. We did not vote last week. I have somebody that I want to give it to as the DM, but we can cover that at the end of the session. You can tell me what you think. Oh, I guess that doesn't make sense because then they can't use it tonight. Let's cover that now. Hey, pause. So we did not vote for a Golden D20 last week. We forgot, which means that somebody should have it. I did actually think about that between this week and last week, and my vote, who I wanted to give it to in absence of having remembered to vote, was that I wanted Carlos to get it for Fidget.
For what he did to Tori and Adrian.
For what he did to Tori and Adrian.
Yes.
I had a specific. There was that, but there was like a specific. And
They're
I cannot
forcing him to
find
be
it.
less smug.
Yeah, for forcing Tori and Adrian not to be smug.
And was it also because he said, "I have dependents now. I need gold"?
That was part of it. There was like I for the life of me can't find it, but he had a line that I wrote down because it made me laugh so hard. But he had a one-liner that cracked me up, and then the fidget and Tori and Adrian conversation completed my life. So that was my what I wanted to do for this week.
No arguments against that. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right, so Fidget has the golden D20 for tonight if so needed. And we unpause as Alar and Walter are making me a strength saving throw.
Ah, crap.
Just kill me. It's fine. Hold on. 14.
Okay.
Oh, whopping 10.
I believe Walter, you're okay. Well, you're okay-ish. Alar is not. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so Walter, you're still gonna take some damage, but it's not gonna be as bad. On this thing's turn, it basically whirlwinds its body, its gaseous sort of amorphous form in this vortex that threatens to just pull you guys from your feet and hurl you. Walter, you managed to hold in place. Maybe you like plant your shovel in the ground or something like that. But you're able to hold on. So you're going to take half damage here. You're going to take... You're going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And you managed to stay on your feet. Alar, as you fail, you are going to take... You're going to take 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And you are going to be thrown... let's say 1 is that way, 2 is that way, 3 is that way, 4 is that way. You get chucked directly, like you just slammed into the wall, right? The like lower wall, essentially. I don't think you're gonna take any damage. No, because you were not able to actually be thrown any distance. You won't take any additional damage. You are knocked prone, however, as this thing basically just bodily picks you up and slams you into the wall by just like the force of the wind and air and debris that's being whipped around.
Ow.
That is its turn, and the other one in the back here is going to make 2 slam attacks. It's going to move. Can it... reach? No. It's going to move up in this direction, like towards you guys here. So let's see. It went 5, 10, 15, 20... it's going to stop there. So, Santiago, you're sort of like engulfed as this thing basically just like hurls past you. It is going to make 2 attacks against you. That is going to be an 18 plus a bunch of stuff.
That will hit.
And a 14.
14 will miss.
Okay, so it will hit you once, and it's going to deal 10 points of bludgeoning damage to you. It's basically, it just like... It's like having a hurricane run you over as this thing just rolls through your space, and you're just battered by like dozens upon dozens of tiny pebbles and just grating bits of wind, like abrasive, like sandpaper against your skin. And as it kind of stops its movement, the bulk of it has like passed around you, but you're still sort of like in the peripheral of this like cloud of just whipping dirt and debris. Which is going to bring us to the end of his turn, and the 2 swarms are going to make their motions here. This swarm failed its check, so is going to just a mass of scorpions begin like chittering and skittering away from this wall of illusory fire that Brahm has conjured. And this swarm here is going to actually kind of stay where it is, as where this thing has positioned itself as kind of keeping the scorpions from moving any further out of these tunnels. So that's actually all that they are going to do this turn, which will bring us to Santiago, actually.
You foul creature, you steal my vitality from me. I will steal it back. And I'm going to cast Vampiric Touch on myself.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming my concentration ended on the...
At this point, yeah, as they were... the time it took to kind of search these rooms, I would say that's about done.
And Santiago is going to take basically a magical punch at this foggy kind of creature in front of it.
Alrighty, roll to hit.
Okay. Natural 1.
Oh! Very difficult to try and punch a cloud.
But
you do
but
your
what
best
if it
to
was
try
an
and-
18?
Whoa!
But
What if it was an 18?
A 19 plus 7.
Fidget, what did Fidget just do? What was the
What does Fidget do to a cloud of dust?
or to Santiago, whatever he's feeling. As you see the punch winding up and you see it's coming to miss, and you remember from your morning readings of the threads, you've seen this moment, and you know that this is wrong. You have a knowing, and you can change this. What are you doing in your moment here?
Well, he definitely feels. I think he feels this like whirlwindy, smoky thing has to be like rattling things around on the ground. So he certainly just like feels the vibrations in the ground differently because he's not wearing shoes, because
Yep.
that has to matter.
Yep.
Like, nope, take a step to the left.
So
Like,
as
not that one.
Santiago, as you wind up, you come back, and you just hear Fidget go, "To the left! I feel it in my feet!" So he yells, "To the left!" at you, and it just like...
And I know that Fidget knows things.
You know it. So
So I'm good.
you just sort of shift that weight, and as that punch flies in, it is still sort of, you're punching something incorporeal, but you connect with that sort of vague outline of a humanoid shape in the center of this thing and you feel that connection, and that spell goes off, and you suck the life force back out of this creature. So how much damage / healing are you doing?
15 points in necrotic to the creature, and I regain 7 hit.
Alrighty.
I am when you said a step to the left, the time warp is now stuck in my head. So
In my head it went to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left.
oh jeez, I don't know which one's worse.
I can make it worse, but I won't.
Yes, let's not, before we all spend the rest of our nights singing terrible wedding / 8th grade dance songs. Okay,
Santiago's
so
your
Santiago's.
first
All right, he's saying where he is. All right, Fidget, you're up. What you got?
That looks like a line. Oh no!
Please no. I have evasion, but please no.
But that's all I know how to do. Fidget will cast Magic Missile
Okay, on the closer one or the further one?
on the closer one, because I don't think I can reasonably see everything else that's going on.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna do. Oh, that's easy. 12 points of force damage. With
Okay.
3 darts.
Those magic missiles.
And we'll move up a little bit, I guess.
Alrighty, so Fidget moves up just a bit in the direction of that creature, as it is thunked with these darts of magic missiles. You see the kind of sand and debris that makes it up flick off in a few random directions. Last but not least, Nula. You got a dust monster behind you, you got a dust monster in front of you. Walter's a little bit in your way for the first one, though.
Can I hit this? Could I step here and hit the scorpion?
The scorpion swarm is size. No, they're medium. They're further. They're a little further back. There is not necessarily anything preventing you from doing this. Like mechanically speaking, these things don't apply. The same rules don't apply to these things as like a normal creature. You can just move through their space if you want to.
Right. I will do that.
So it sort of is going to land you like in the kind of periphery of it, but yeah, you're able to kind of charge through if you so choose.
Yep.
All right, so there's just this massive scorpions like climbing up the walls, on the floors. Some of them like heading towards the ceiling, and all just kind of trying to make their way towards the group in the hallway beyond.
Yeah, we're trying to stop that. 25 to hit.
Oh yeah.
First attack, and for my second attack will be 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Both of those will definitely hit.
Both of them hit. Okay. And then I will do 8 for the first attack. And max damage 13 for the second attack.
13. Okay. Alrighty. So you basically just, no rhyme or reason, you just start bug squishing. You're just slamming the hammer down into this massive scorpions, and there's just like crunching under the hammer. But even as you like slam the first one down and pull up, hit the second time, as you bring back your hammer, you see that like there's some scorpions now like climbing up the hammer. You definitely crushed a good 2 dozen of them, but there's still plenty more where that came from. Alrighty, anything else?
Nope.
Okie dokie. Then that's going to bring us to the top of the order, and Walter.
All right. Well, so where did Alar land? He kind of just got slammed into...
He just basically went like poof, and then hit the ground right where he was. So he's now like that.
Okay. Gotcha. And this
and that is essentially like in
right
your
here.
guys' space. Yeah. You guys are more or less inside it.
I'm gonna try to take a swing at it with the shovel again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Roll to hit with the good dice. 19 plus 6.
Well,
25 to hit.
You definitely feel the more solid, like, connection that second time. Like, almost as if you're, like, swinging through a loose kind of, like, pile of dirt or soil.
That does 1d8 plus 3 damage for a total of 4 damage.
Nice. Alrighty. So your shovel definitely makes that kind of, like, noise as it clangs into the sort of primary center mass of this thing.
We can hit it, Alar. I just gotta get back in the groove of using this.
Alrighty. And anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Alrighty, Alar, you got your bell rung a little bit, but you are you're up.
Alright. I use half my movement to get on my feet.
Okie dokie.
And I don't see a weak point on this thing, so I don't think I can sneak attack it. So I'm just gonna try what worked last time. Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That time it rolls a whole whopping, let's see, a 9 plus nothing, a 9.
Okay.
Say is a very sagely cloud.
Takes 22 points of
Whoa.
necrotic damage.
Alrighty.
You go, how do you like that?
So again, it's and this cloud like shimmers. It seems to lose a good deal of the like force with which it was whipping around this space, but it is still going. Alrighty. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Then Brahm, you are up. So seems the swarm of scorpions is heading away from you. but is now like trapped in this little chunk of hallway between you and everybody else by your fire and this swirling cloud of dust on the other side.
Okay. 2 questions. First question, is a rapier considered a light melee weapon?
For the purposes of like using your dex modifier? Maybe it's like
No.
a finesse weapon? Is that what's the question you're asking here?
For the purposes of, I just found out I have a multi-attack.
Oh, yeah. Your rapier will work for that.
Okay, I'm not actually going to use that now. Second question, do I have to... Am I targeting, like, the whole scorpion swarm, or is it, like, one specific... Am I targeting one specific scorpion?
It's basically you're targeting, like, the swarm.
Okay, good.
Right. It's a little weird with, like, if you're using, like, a hideous laughter or something like that. It's a
No,
little
I'm
weird
not.
the way the rules work, but it just essentially acts as one creature.
So I'm going to walk up close-ish
Okay.
to the swarm, and I am going to use my ram helmet
Okay.
attempt to ram the swarm. So they have to make... it's just an attack roll, I think. Yeah. So they make an attack roll.
Okay.
That would be an 18 plus 7.
Yep, that definitely hits.
Okay, so it does 2d10. 16 points of damage, and they get blown back 5 feet away from...
So, just let's see how they look here. Okay. So they basically, Brahm, you like slam that helmet down on your head, and you take a running start, and you lower your shoulder and your head, and just as you like get up on your intended target here, there's like this flash of illumination, like, and like Harry Potter Patronus style, like a ram just like corporealizes out of like the top of the helmet on your way in, and just smashes into this like pile of scorpions that are writhing their way down the hallway. And how many feet was it?
Only 5.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because
I'm not like slamming them into new
like fucking scorpion confetti showers your party.
Shotgun duel with a bunch of scorpions.
After doing that, I like to think that Rob is like, well, I'm glad that worked. It would have been real awkward if I just straight headbutted and scorpions.
He headbutts
Never
one
used this
scorpion.
before. Yeah.
Okay, no, you like scorpions are like smashed and shattered and obliterated as the whole sort of bulk of the swarm is just like blown forwards in this wave of force that comes out of the helmet as you use the ram helmet. And you took a good hefty chunk out of the size of the swarm here. You think you probably got about half of them with that hit. Anything else?
No.
Okay. It is their turn. Actually, it's the dust creature's turns first. So let me see first. Okay, so that does not recharge. And alrighty, so dust creature number 1 is going to make 2 attacks against one against Walter, one against Alar. So Walter, that is a 2. So that's a 10 total.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't like the sound of that. So I guess the second one just hits.
No, and then so Walter, that's gonna miss you, and then Alar, that is a 12.
So I'm gonna miss.
Okay, so this thing lashes out in 2 directions with these like spiral arms of like dusty debris, but you guys are able to keep clear of getting battered by them. Okay, the other one is going to at this point it's going to do the same thing now that it's got some some extra victims here. It's going to do the same thing to Nula, Santiago, and actually this swarm of scorpions now, as it did to you guys. So I need Nula, Santiago, and the scorpions are all going to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy.
The scorpions are going to fail. Scorpions fail.
That is a 9 for Santiago.
Okay, Santiago fails.
25.
Okay, Nula, you're fine. So you're going to take half damage. So Nula, you will take...
Can I do protection on Santiago?
No. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Wait. No. This is a saving throw, not an attack. So no,
Okay.
you can't.
Sorry.
Thanks for trying.
I was like, is she close enough? She's not close enough. She is close enough.
Does she have that aura that gives bonuses to
I think that's wisdom.
saving throws? Oh, it's only wisdom? Okay. Just asking questions.
Yeah, no.
So
It's a good
Nula,
one,
you'll
it's just-
take 12. You'll take 6 damage, and you are not thrown. These scorpions are gonna take enough that the scorpion swarm is obliterated. So this scorpion swarm gets headbutted by Brahm and then caught up in this thing's like vortex. So it's basically just like a blender of scorpions in this hallway as they get like blasted this way by Brahm immediately into the vortex of this dust creature and just blasted the other way. So there's like scorpion shrapnel just flying in all directions, but that swarm is obliterated.
Who hurt you, Matt? Who hurt
What's that?
you?
Who hurt me?
Who hurt you?
Scorpions hurt me.
Now he's hurting him.
Scorpion tornado. Okay. All right, Matt.
Scorpion tornado. Well, that's the tagline for next episode.
Scorpnado.
An epic adventure, a land of fantasy, a scorpion tornado. Santiago is going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
And then you're going to be thrown. Let's see, what direction?
And Santiago also fails his concentration check on
Okay.
vampiric.
So Santiago, you are thrown 20 feet in this direction. So 5, 10, 15. Hey, Walter. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
First of all, improvised weapons, which include people, only do 1d4 damage, unless you have the proficiency. I got a 19 plus stuff.
Okay, so you're
21.
okay.
Look out, amigo!
I got you. He would say I got you, but like get out of the way.
Yeah, based on the way that this is written, it's basically like you have to make a save or he hits you, and since like you made the save, I guess he doesn't, which I think means we're dealing with like a Jim Michael Scott koi pond situation where Santiago basically is hurled down this hallway at Walter, who just goes like this. Since luckily this actually works out in your favor, since you don't hit anything in this scenario, you don't take any more damage from that. But you are gonna land
In the other
here.
dust creature.
Yeah, you're gonna land in the other one essentially.
Oh, they're playing catch with Santiago.
You are prone, which I think we can fix with a little bit of a. There we go. Okay.
Ow.
So you land prone inside the other dust creature. That is going to be its turn. And that will bring us to the swarm. The remaining swarm, which will attack Nula. Just a single attack here, and that's going to be a whole whopping... Oh, it's got a higher attack than I thought. Still only a 14. I don't think that'll hit.
Nope, will not hit.
Okay. So that'll miss you. So you're basically just kind of backpedaling and like shaking scorpions off your hammer at this point. And none of them have managed to get at you. All right, Santiago, you just landed inside another creature after being hucked down a hallway, but it is your turn.
This changes my whole decision-making process.
You are in melee range of one, technically.
Yes, I know. That's the problem. It's, let me check something really quick. Okay. Santiago is going to use his action to disengage,
Okay.
and then he's going to just start rolling
Okay.
towards Walter and say, "Jump!" And I'm going to roll right underneath Walter's legs. And I'm going to stay prone. And then I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word. Anybody within 60 feet is my bonus action.
Alrighty. I think that's probably everybody. We're not in a huge space here.
Yeah, that should hit us all.
All right. Let's see. Oh. Dice aren't rolling too good for me tonight, everybody. Everybody who needs it gets 5 hit points back.
I will gratefully accept your donation.
As will I.
I feel like this strange guy just got like yeeted by a cloud, then like Commando rolls away and is like heal. it's like what do you even say to, like thank you?
Yes, you say thank you.
Yes.
And that ends Santiago's turn.
The Bookkeepers, the most elite team of relic hunting operatives known in the entire land.
I think my goal now, the rest of the encounter, is just to stay prone.
Joining this organization is like, you know.
Don't meet your heroes, ALR. Don't meet your heroes.
Maybe we're not as incompetent as we thought.
About this because he feels like, there was a little worry of like, am I really going to measure up? But seeing this, it's like, no, I do stupid shit like this too.
Okie dokie. All right, so the log roll of healing has taken place, and Fidget, you are up.
Fidget is just going to cast Ray of Frost.
Okay.
That is a 20 to hit.
Oh yeah.
For 4 points of cold damage.
Alrighty. So you freeze into this this creature here, and now it's an ice dust tornado. You've made it more deadly. No,
Oh no, I've made it more powerful.
Yes. Nope. It definitely seems affected by that. The gale winds sort of compete with this beam of cold that blasts into it. And
Does it now have scorpions and icicles
yep,
inside?
it is now a frozen scorpion tornado.
That's all I got. I'm going to make it more dangerous and call it.
Alrighty. Nula, you are up.
Going to attack the scorpions.
Okie dokie. Roll the hit.
15.
Yes, that will hit.
First attack of 15, and the second attack is 11.
11 to hit, you said?
Yeah.
The 11 will not hit. The 15 will.
Okay. That is 8 points of damage.
Alrighty. There is one scorpion left.
How much HP these things have?
It was
It
like
has 63 scorpions.
Yeah.
There's now one.
It has one scorpion worth of HP left. Okay.
I bonus action squash it? Just
Sure.
Stop.
Sure.
Bonus action squish.
You bonus action squish, and that's Sword of Scorpions is dead.
I guess technically that's an unarmed strike, and you probably have +4 to that at least.
Oh goodness. Where's my initiative? Walter, you're up. You just like Donkey Kong barrel hopped Santiago as he rolled underneath you, and there's still a dust cloud in your face.
So since everything kind of happens at roughly the same time, I'd like to imagine that I kind of like jump crouch attack with my shovel
Sure.
as he's rolling under, because that would be a lot more fun. So like as he rolls under me like to heal, I'd like jump up and then shovel
He
attack.
presses up, down, A, and the melee button all at once, and he jump crouch melee.
21 to hit.
shovel. Definitely hits.
Outstanding. It's a 7 + 3 this time. It's 10 points of magical bludgeoning damage to this nonsense floating cloud that's in front of me.
Alrighty, you rip your shovel down through this creature, and it actually like creates like a divide in the wake of the shovel as it passes, which like separates into two distinct clouds, and then all of the like momentum that was possessed by this thing as it was swirling is just broken apart and dissipated, and it just whooshes itself into nothing and dissipates. A bunch of like pebbles and sand and debris just raining down to the floor of the chamber as this is defeated.
Outstanding combo, Santiago. Thank you. And Alar, thank you for doing all the damage.
No problem.
And then
Thanks
also
for timing that jump just right so you didn't land.
that could have been way worse. Then I'll turn to face the other one and get ready to Eldritch Blast it next turn.
Alrighty. That will bring us to Alar.
Okay. That one gets to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty, for the third time. It rolls a 2. It fails.
Okay.
It is damaged.
It's going to be a lot more damaged. I rolled max damage, 24.
Well,
And
boy howdy.
I move past Walter, I hop over Santiago, and I move to confront the thing if it's still there.
It is definitely not. As you kind of hop over Santiago, still log rolling his way to victory, the echo of your spell dissipates, as does the wind in this area, leaving the chamber quiet once more. You guys are out of combat.
I'm going to reach a hand down and help Santiago to his feet.
Gracias, Senor Alar.
Alar, did you trigger a trap or something? Like, what happened?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was tied to that doorway, or... Wait, you guys pulled something out, didn't you?
I pulled the bird
All
out.
right, so I'm gonna head over this way.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna not respond. I'm just gonna not respond to Alar's question.
That's a yes!
And then I'll try to take a peek in.
Okay.
It's a shame he killed that cloud on that turn. I was totally prepared to vicious mockery that cloud to death.
Sorry, the bell tolled for it.
Yeah. As you peek in, you see the same thing that Alar saw before. It opens to a much larger chamber. There's the illumination from a few of those flameless lanterns, like down below. But essentially, it seems like you're up on kind of almost like a vista, and the chamber like descends as it goes further away, so you can't really see anything from up here.
All right. I will try to make some track lighting with the dancing lights, and let's see what we can do. Alar, would you like to go first, or?
Yeah.
Just bloop out of the way. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now he's dead.
Oh, nope. I glitched into the wall. I'm sorry.
Alrighty.
I'm gone. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, so this time as you It's like lemmings. Everybody's just throwing their minis out into the darkness beyond.
We attack the darkness.
Ah.
Santiago's combat roll.
Oh yeah, I'm just rolling down the hall. I'm
Yep.
just gonna keep rolling.
Everybody was wondering why he had all his armor was all padded. Turns out he has his patented log roll technique.
I just kept crawling and it just kept working.
Dead on the other side of this wall.
Give everybody, give the audience a good shot of the pile of corpses over here. So you guys are able to start making your way through this. No more dust monsters or anomalies come up to fight you as you move forward this time. And we're going to move maps again.
Perhaps we should keep a tighter group this time.
I feel like you're 100% saying that while you're laying on the floor.
Yes. Senor Alar already helped me up. It's okay.
As I walk by, I will one-handed, just lift him off the ground.
Oh, Senor Brom, you're so strong.
I know.
So, this is the site that you guys are greeted by. This is a massive, massive chamber. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating. It's big. It's not massive. That was too many massives.
What on earth is this?
Alrighty.
This doesn't look like it was made by the Invarians. It might be a natural chamber.
Don't be fooled by the fact that the map is made only by the assets that I have. But listen to the description that I have to read for you.
It looks like a massive, massive, massive cavern. Oh wait, maybe only just kind of massive.
There's maybe one or two massives less than I thought it was a second ago. So that passageway that you guys just passed through was the spot marked with the X on your map, was the passageway that the escaping archaeologists said they went through and kind of were exploring the chamber beyond when they were attacked. So the chamber that they were exploring, probably this one. It is much larger than anything that you guys have passed thus far. It doesn't... at least the formation here doesn't appear as if it is the result of the Nivirian excavation, like digging it out, but rather it looks like the chamber has survived partly intact, buried beneath the ground all of this time. A lot of it does seem to be covered in formation of natural stone, but as you kind of look, you can see there is some moisture and humidity in here, and it almost looks like the natural stone has been formed by the sedimentation of just running water over the course of however long, thousands of years, sort of building up these rock formations on top of the actual structure of this chamber. Beneath these sort of rocky formations, you can see that the original structure does appear to be an Invarian-built chamber down here. You are up on sort of a terraced platform here. The chamber is illuminated. There are 3 of those flameless lanterns, but they're a handheld variety. They essentially have you can see the first one is on the ground, sort of just a little bit below, right kind of here-ish. It has an attachment on the bottom that looks like it's maybe to shutter the light, as well as a handle that you would carry it by. There's one sitting here, and there are 2 more sort of further down in this chamber. It looks like perhaps they were just dropped there.
Are they bullseye lanterns or regular lanterns?
So it's essentially envision a crystal ball, sort of glass orb. The ones you passed before essentially are just have these mounts that are then bolted to the walls. These ones are that with a handle and then a portion on the bottom attached, where it would be like you would kind of turn, like if it was a bullseye or a shuttered lantern. The difference being that it just like essentially like the glowing flameless lantern is on like a dimmer, so you can just like reduce the illumination until it like is extinguished, or then like brighten it.
Okay. How much do they weigh, roughly?
You can go pick one up. There's one like down here.
I'll certainly
I
go
will
grab one.
Cast Mage Hand to.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously we're mage handing these. I'm not going to give them away.
Yeah. If it's less than 5 pounds, it picks up. If it's more than 5 pounds, it doesn't move.
So it appears to be a little heavy for the mage hand.
Okay.
Once you're kind of further in, you can get a better view out in this direction. You can hear. It sounds like there's some like little cracks and crevices in this chamber. You can kind of hear like clicking and chattering, like there's probably scorpions and spiders like adjacent in this vicinity, though they don't appear to be like alerted to you immediately. There is, though it does not appear on the map here, at this like far back wall, instead of just like there's like an opening here, there is a big door, like a 15-foot high, 10-foot wide double door in the back wall.
Wood?
Appears to be probably metal of some sort.
Okay.
And that is what you see.
Well, let's grab some of these lanterns and see what we can do.
So, how big is the terrace? Like a high step? Is it? Do we have to like climb down?
So like this stuff, this is just as a product of like, the limitations of the builder. This is like tiered here. Just kind of visualize this as like a ramp.
Okay.
Essentially going down and around. From like here, down to floor level is, fairly considerable. You're talking about probably almost like a 60-foot change in height from up top here to like down on the floor.
All right. That this big stone here, and that's actually, right. That's I'm putting my pointer at. That's actually there.
Yeah, but it's just like a rock.
Okay. Does it look like it's a freestanding rock, or is it a stalagmite?
It's sort of looks like a pile of like some rocks that have fallen from above, but it is large and like embedded enough that it's, if you wanted to like tie something to it, it's probably pretty secure.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna tie off rope, and I'm going to start letting it out as I head down. As a bit of assistance in case somebody has to get up in a hurry.
Sure.
I'm going to use the magic of my legs to walk down.
Sure. Yeah, it's not a super like difficult climb. It definitely looks like this was built to be like traversed up and down.
Walter probably would not go ahead of anybody necessarily, like not like everybody for sure, but like just kind of follow Alar down as he's holding the rope.
Okay.
Alar, I assume you're going all the way down to the this away vicinity, or you're gonna try to tie off as you go?
Yeah, I think the rope itself will be enough. Since this is supposed to be just an incline. So he'll just carefully play the rope out as he's heading down.
Okay. So it looks like a good number of guys are heading downstairs. Fidget and Santiago, where do you stand up here? Do you want to be somewhere like along the thing here? Obviously, sure. Carlos can move his Fidget there. I can move Santiago for him if he wants.
Yes.
Nula
Santiago
doesn't
will
have
travel
dark
with the group.
vision.
Walter and Nula don't have dark vision.
Okay, so
There's enough light in here from those lanterns that they're not blind. It's dim lighting in here.
well, I was thinking that Walter should definitely get one of those. Santiago, do you have dark vision?
I do, yes. Yes, see.
Okay.
Question, Senor Aylar. You always, do you usually always take point on these sort of excursions?
Just in case there's traps, yeah, for the most part.
Okay, receive this blessing from Kelambor. And Santiago is going to cast a spell on Alar called Warding Bond. Basically, your AC goes up by 1. You have a +1 on all your saving throws, and you have resistance to all damage for the next hour.
Wow.
Cool.
The only problem with this spell is any damage you take, I take as well.
Ooh. Okay. Well.
Well, the resistance and the bonus to AC should help that. But
Yeah,
yes.
I will be cautious, but thank you very much.
Alrighty. So, as you guys get to the bottom here, you can see there is, so like this thing here is sort of like, there's kind of like a pile of like stones, rubble almost here. Alar, since you've kind of been looking at it, you definitely see the footprints of the 3 archaeologists that came this way. It does seem like they came kind of were in this area and were looking around. And as you guys are sort of scoping out this area, you definitely still kind of in the distance, sort of lurking out of this chamber in like cracks and crevices beyond. You can hear that of scorpions and spiders around, agitated by something, but they don't appear to be getting closer yet.
Investigation check.
Sure.
Again, looking for those other 2 sets of footprints. Which way did they go?
Would Santiago be able to assist him in this circumstance?
And anybody who wants to like be walking around and looking at things totally can at this point.
Sure.
I kind of want to look at the door and see if there's writing.
Sure, go for it.
So Matt, do you do it gives him advantage, or do you want each of us?
I mean, if you guys are gonna he's specifically going to look for the door, so I'll have him roll his own. If you're helping him with the footprints thing, he can do the advantage. If somebody else is like looking at something else, they can roll their own.
I'll stick with Alar and help him.
Okay.
Okay, I will roll again. Thank you very much, because that gave me a natural 20. 29.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you guys are sort of scoping out some footprints. Walter heads over towards the door. What's everybody else doing as you guys are?
I'm just taking in the room. I got a 16.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna put you this is to give you the heads up of where you're led. Okay. Couple of things.
Okay.
There's no writing on the door, Walter, that you see. What you do see, about shoulder height, are 3 indentations in the door. Roughly yay big.
Oh, I heard a yay. Hold on. Yay big?
Yay big.
Okay.
Circular on the outside, and then like the beveling goes like in about a half an inch, and then there is an indentation that is unmistakably in the shape of a bird with its wings extended. So there are 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, like that.
Hey, Brahm. Brahm is muted. There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
You didn't happen to find any more of those little bird reliefs, did you?
I have 2 of them.
I think we might need a third. You see anything that looks like a monolith laying around here?
I don't know. Do I?
Well, we'll get back to that 1 second as the Scooby Gang looking at the footprints here. Kind of make your way around. You're piecing out. It looks like the archaeologists were kind of looking at things around the chamber, around the walls. Over sort of towards this area. Made their way over towards the door, and what you eventually are able to determine as the two of you are looking around is from about this point, sort of in here, as well as looks like two people kind of here and a third here. This is where you determine the running started. You see just footprints kind of meandering about, looking at things, and then two sets of footprints. You see kind of the scrabble, and then the distinct foot pattern of sprinting, running, goes this way, disappears beneath the door, the sealed door. The third pair that you've been following most of this way goes this way and out.
The door had to have been open. But why is it closed?
Perhaps they closed it behind.
Might
To
be. There might be a
protect
lever of
themselves?
some kind. I don't want to start making too much noise, otherwise we're going to bring our friends down on us.
You're kind of peeking around here.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If you hold Q&A, it looks like you're actually looking around.
So, Walter, you kind of head over and start looking around at this. And a couple of things happen simultaneously. Fidget. As you're standing here, keeping to yourself, watching the group kind of look around, watching things unfold, strong sensation washes over you, and you feel your attention pulled away from the here and now, and you feel automatically your hands go to your shawl, and you begin tracing your fingers along the knots and the twists and the rungs in the fabric, reading the weave of fate, reading destiny as it unfolds. This place, specifically forward and onward, something about this place, you're reminded of that first moment that set you on this path, the moment that Goliath handed you that coin, and all of those hundreds of innumerous threads of fate traveling off in every direction out into the distance that had been intertwined with this group and with Kellen Forzair, who had died, and now with you. And something about this place resonates with one of those threads. Something further in is important, but it's a thread that is further down on the tapestry. This place is important, but you don't know why. You don't know when, but you know that now is not the time that it will be important. There is much of the weave of tapestry that you are going to have to go through first and unravel and understand before you know the eventual destiny of this place and of how it ties to you here. And as you have this stroke of understanding, you look up and you see Walter sort of poking around at this pile of rubble in the center. And there is a large resonating and the pile of rubble shifts and begins to rise up. And all of a sudden, the stones, the pieces of gravel and material that make it up, move and shift and rotate and take shape into a hulking Goliath of a creature. Perhaps 15 feet tall, a massive construct of stone and earth. Turns, assessing the group that are standing in the chamber. And there is this deep sort of grinding, grumbling that comes out of it that you almost would interpret as speech, but I don't think it's a language any of you understand. It says something, and then these fins of earth and rock clack up into what is unmistakably a battle position, and it turns and readies itself to fight. And as it does, you see something in the center, the core of its chest. The shifting pieces of earth that make it up are moving and rotating. And right in the core, you can see a third reliquary. A third bird statue. And on the stone that makes up what essentially looks like a chest piece on this construct, this earth construct, there is an Envarian word written. A third Envarian word. Same text, same size as the other two you'd seen on the other two rooms. You saw vision. You saw glory. And on this golem, as it turns towards you, Walter, you read the word sacrifice. And that is the end of tonight's session.
Dun dun dun.
So how many times in this campaign can I soil myself before it stops being funny?
At least
It's
one
gonna be
less.
At least another year's worth.
At least one less time than how many times this will be funny.
The real question is, did you remember to save it this time?
I did not save it, but I don't have to because I can just do this and put it back.
Right.
I will save it before I close it for good tonight. So that's it. It's about 10 o'clock, so that's the end of our session for tonight.
We got glory, honor, and sacrifice.
Glory, vision, honor, and sacrifice. No, vision,
Oh, it's
glory,
vision.
and sacrifice.
Vision, glory. Yeah.
Vision, glory, and sacrifice.
I'm about to sacrifice this golem.
Alrighty, well, good session, everybody. Had some fighting, we
Yes,
had some
GGs.
exploring. Let me get this pulled up and maybe look at Twitch chat. So, thank you guys for sticking with us tonight. We got a couple people in chat. Thank you for those sick rhyming couplets. So my party's already talking about it in Discord chat. I'll pop it out here. So we do a thing at the end of every session where we vote for somebody to get the golden D20, which is essentially a free natural 20 that they can choose to use on any roll of their choice during the following game. We award that for somebody who does something particularly cool or awesome or impactful or just has a sweet one-liner, or anything that we think is deserving of some recognition. It's sort of like super inspiration, essentially. So if you would like to cast a vote for somebody you think deserves that for tonight, feel free to put it in chat and we'll keep an eye on that. And while we're giving you some time to do that, I will throw that to you guys. Do we have some votes? Who do you guys think should have the golden D20 for next week?
This is currently 2 for Brahm.
So we have in their private conversations there. We had hang on, I gotta scroll through all the gifts. I have a
Tuck and
golden
roll,
D20.
boys. Tuck and roll.
Golden D20 vote for ramming the swarm and a ditto, and then we have a vote for Michael and Walter for the jump and roll.
Michael also got a vote in the chat.
Okay.
I can't in good conscience vote for myself. So I definitely enjoyed the
I will also
goat,
vote
the
for,
goat helmet.
I'll vote for Michael for
Log roll for
Got the
victory.
reveal.
I did enjoy the log roll to victory
That was quite impressive.
with bonus clutch healing.
There was a lot of things I enjoyed from tonight's. There was what if it was an 18, which I always enjoy. I never don't enjoy what if it was this number instead.
That was very much appreciated.
There was Scorpion Tornado. I liked that. There was bonus action squish. What else did I write down?
May
Log roll
I
to victory.
offer a alternative? Would you be okay with granting inspiration to everybody in lieu of a golden D20?
I only do that on super special occasions.
That is a
Plus,
good
I already
point.
have a bunch that I haven't used.
It is his birthday.
It is Matt's birthday.
Oh,
It's
cool.
a special
All right,
occasion.
so it's a birthday gift to me.
That feels like
I get the
you get to
golden
take it away
D20
from
next
all of
week.
us.
Yeah, you get nothing. Happy birthday to me. Good night.
Somebody's gonna get crit to death.
Close the
Oh,
stream.
I wonder who's gonna get crit to death. The person reading the chest armor of the thing that's 15 feet tall. Like, oh, that's an interesting thing that's about to murder me to death.
Well, here's what I think. Well, I guess the question is Michael going to be with us for one more week?
That's up to you guys. I don't got anything else going on, so if you want to have me back, that's fine. I mean, if I'm not intruding. don't.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Alrighty. Well then, I think we will give the golden D20 to Michael for next week. I'll tie break on that one, as I quite enjoyed Log Roll to Victory, and Russell gets the award of the fame and glory of the fact that I'm going to put Scorpion Tornado in the title next week.
Well,
all right.
Usually though, like log rolls to glory usually end with like somebody doing some kind of cool like shooting of a gun or something really cool, but I'll just like blast little 5 hit points to everybody here and there.
Alrighty.
That was
Well,
clutch. That helped
Also, speaking of fame and glory, be sure to tune in next week for a Brahm special.
oh yeah, Russell's been working on something. We're gonna check that out this week. I didn't have enough time to get it set up for this week.
I'm
but,
intrigued and terrified.
none of us have seen it yet, so it should be. I mean, probably nightmare-inducing if I had to guess, but. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Marble Moon Studio, The Eighth House, Little Dragon Corp, Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, and the Twitch Affiliate Program. Thank you to Proficiency Bonus for letting us be a bunch of idiots here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Be sure to subscribe if you are not already. Resubscribe if you have done so in the past and have let it lapse. I don't know, throw bits at us or something. That's right, that's a fake Twitch thing. And look for us on YouTube. We are Tabletop Legends on YouTube, or, of course, the Proficiency Bonus YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, like, hit the bell icon for notifications. What else do YouTube people say? I don't know. I'm bad at this. Thank you for joining us.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. We love you, and we will see you next week. Good night.